You brought up money with someone in your family and it went sideways. Defensiveness, silence, or a fight that had nothing to do with the numbers. It happens in almost every household, and most people conclude that their family is just bad at talking about money. That is the wrong diagnosis. The real problem is structural. Almost every family money conversation is reactive, triggered by a bill, a balance, a purchase, which means it happens when emotions are already elevated and there is no shared framework to contain it. There is a different way to run these conversations, and the families who use it don't just fight less, they make measurably better financial decisions together. Here is exactly how it works. Let us start with understanding why family money conversations fail so predictably. The core issue is that most financial discussions happen in the wrong context, about the wrong topic, at the wrong time. Someone notices a credit card bill and makes a comment. Someone else sees a bank balance and raises a concern. These reactive conversations happen when emotions are elevated, when there is no shared framework for evaluating the information, and when there is no agreed-upon vision of where the family is trying to go. The result is defensiveness, shame, or withdrawal, none of which move the financial picture forward. The solution is what behavioral economists call prospective goal framing. Instead of discussing past financial behavior which cannot be changed, successful family financial conversations focus almost entirely on future states. Where do we want to be in 5 years? What does financial security feel like for this family? What experiences do we want money to make possible? These questions activate aspiration rather than shame, and they create a shared context for every subsequent conversation. The first framework to implement is the Family Financial Summit. This is a dedicated, scheduled conversation, not a reaction to a financial event, that happens once or twice a year and covers the family's full financial picture. The structure matters. It should include a review of current state, a discussion of goals, and a concrete action list with owners and timelines. The key rule is that this conversation is never allowed to become a blame session. The purpose is alignment, not accountability for past mistakes. For couples, this conversation should cover combined net worth, spending patterns relative to values, savings and investment progress, and any goals that have shifted. For families with adult children or elderly parents, the scope expands to include estate plans, insurance coverage, and any dependencies that need to be acknowledged and planned for. The simple act of having this conversation annually puts a family in the top tier of financial preparedness compared to households that never discuss these topics. The second framework is the Shared Financial Vision document. This is a simple written record of what the family has agreed it is trying to accomplish financially. It might be a single page listing 3 to 5 financial goals with target timelines and specific numbers attached. The act of writing it down changes the nature of future conversations. Instead of debating whether to take a vacation or increase retirement contributions, you are asking a simpler question. Which of these options moves us closer to what we already agreed we want? This document also serves a crucial function in multi-generational conversations. When adult children understand the financial goals of their parents, not just the vague sense that there is or is not money, they can make better decisions about their own lives and become genuine partners in family financial planning rather than passive recipients or sources of anxiety. Now let us talk about specific difficult money topics that most families avoid until they become crises. The first is debt within a family, whether loans between family members or one partner carrying debt into a relationship. The worst approach is discovering this reactively. The better approach is creating a norm of financial transparency early, framing it not as confession, but as information sharing that enables better joint planning. When a family member has significant debt, the productive conversation is not about how they got there, but about the math going forward. What is the total balance? What is the interest rate? What is the payoff timeline? What changes would accelerate it? Keeping the conversation anchored to numbers and forward-looking options removes the moral dimension that makes these discussions charged. The second difficult topic is inheritance and estate planning conversations, which most families avoid entirely until someone dies, and the absence of clarity creates conflict, legal complications, and in some cases, permanently damaged relationships. The families who navigate inheritance well do so because they have explicit conversations well before any estate transfer is imminent. An effective estate planning conversation starts not with the money, but with the values. What do the parents or grandparents want their legacy to mean? Is it about creating opportunity for the next generation? Preserving a family business? Supporting causes they care about? Getting clear on intent before discussing mechanics makes everything that follows less contentious. Then the conversation can move to practical elements: the existence and location of a will or trust, who the executor is, what the major assets are and how they are titled, what life insurance is in place, and whether there is a plan for incapacity before death. It does not require sharing exact dollar amounts, though that transparency is often helpful. It requires clarity about structure and intent. One specific tool worth knowing about is the Family Financial Letter of Instruction. This is a non-legal document that accompanies a formal estate plan and explains the personal context behind decisions, why assets were structured a particular way, what the intentions behind specific bequests are, and what the person's wishes are for family relationships after they are gone. This document often prevents conflict more effectively than the legal documents alone, because it addresses the emotional dimension that legal language cannot capture. The third difficult conversation category is financial support for family members. Helping adult children with housing, supporting aging parents, or managing requests for loans from relatives. Without a framework, every request is a fresh negotiation loaded with obligation and guilt. With a framework, you have already decided in advance what you are and are not able to support and why. The concept to apply here is the Household Financial Boundary Document. You decide in advance what percentage of your income or net worth you are willing to deploy for family support. You decide whether family support takes the form of gifts or loans. You decide what your own financial priorities must be funded before any external support is considered. Having these decisions made in advance allows you to respond to requests from a position of clarity rather than reactive emotion. When it comes to children and money, the most valuable thing you can do is begin financial education early and make money a normal topic in the household. Research on intergenerational wealth consistently shows that families where financial concepts are discussed openly and children are given age-appropriate money management responsibilities build more financially capable adults. Giving children a small spending allocation they fully control, involving older children in basic household budget discussions, explaining the difference between wants and needs in real time. These practices build financial literacy and confidence that compound over a lifetime. The adult children who struggle most with money are overwhelmingly from households where money was either never discussed or only discussed during moments of stress and conflict. The multi-generational wealth angle is where this all comes together. The families that successfully build and preserve wealth across generations do it through shared values, clear communication, and intentional financial structures. They hold family financial summits. They maintain shared financial vision documents. They have explicit conversations about estate plans. They establish clear policies around family financial support. And they involve younger family members in financial discussions early and often. None of this requires significant wealth to begin. It requires intention and the willingness to override the cultural norm of treating money as private and uncomfortable. The families who normalize these conversations are building a competitive advantage that compounds across generations, not just in dollars, but in the financial wisdom passed down alongside any inheritance. Subscribe to Daily Money Mindset for 3 videos every week covering advanced, practical personal finance strategy. Hit the like button and drop a comment below. What is the hardest money conversation you have had to navigate with family? We read every comment, and your answer might shape a future video. Additional frameworks and resources mentioned today are in the description below.